We are so happy some of the Netaji files are being declassified. Some people are not. I won't tell you who. GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP is taking on Sharmistha Mukherjee of the Congress. Big smile on his face is RTI activist and the author of India's biggest cover-up, Anuj Dhar, one-man army into this investigation. And Sharmistha Mukherjee on the other side tonight, taking him on, Chandra Kumar Bose, Professor Mridula Mukherjee of JNU, and Ardhendu Bose completing our panel. Ardhendu Bose is nephew of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. First significance of today's files and which has come out in the public domain. What's the... briefly, Chandra Kumar Bose, why don't you tell our viewers what in your view is the biggest one-point takeaway from these 64 Netaji files which have been made public?
Well, there are two major issues. One is the snooping angle. The entire government machinery was used.
That's right.
To snoop on Sarat Chandra Bose till his death and Amyanath Bose for over a couple of decades. 14 Intelligence Bureau officials, even a terrorist is not given this respect. 14 IB officials snooped on Amyanath Bose 24 hours a day across the globe. When he went to Japan in 1957, he was trailed. There is a letter from Mr. Nehru to Shubhimal Dutt, who was the foreign secretary at that time, who instructed the Indian ambassador in Tokyo to snoop on Amyanath Bose. Was he a terrorist?
Shameful.
This is our demand. The
Shameful.
people
Was
demand
Netaji a terrorist?
A thorough investigation.
No,
Sharmistha
Mukherjee, was Netaji a terrorist? Were members of Netaji's family terrorists? Why did you do this? Why did the Congress party snoop on Netaji Bose's entire family? Why did the Kolkata police under the Congress government maintain notes on family members of Netaji and Sharat Chandra Bose? Why were letters written by Netaji's wife also intercepted? You know, I just don't understand it. And you, the Congress party, want an explanation tonight. You even intercepted letters written by Netaji's wife. This is disgraceful, shameful, insulting. You need to answer, please, tonight. And please don't be don't be aggressive in turn. Please answer tonight with a sense of respect for the Netaji family, if nothing else, for the sentiments of the people of this country. Yes, Sharmistha. Yes, Sharmistha. Mukherjee.
No question. Yes, I'm answering you, Arnabji. No question of terming or even thinking in our wildest dream that Netaji or anyone of his family are terrorists. That is like really hitting below the belt if you are accusing Congress of this.
No, we're not.
Way.
But were they terrorists that you were treating them like this?
We have to study the document. We have to... No, just a minute. Just a minute, sir. If you could kindly allow me to answer. First, let me answer, or if you really wish to come out with your own theories and not listen to me, in that case, I might as well not say
do you believe that Netaji Bose died in the plane crash in 1945? Yes or no?
So, no.
No, he did not die in the plane crash in 1945.
Welcome.
Yes, I do believe that. Well, if you say that is your belief, but I do believe that he died in the plane crash. But to answer your point that why was his family put under
Anuj
surveillance?
is laughing.
You have to judge a historical event in a proper context.
What historical
event? At that time, there were a lot of theories, there were a lot of rumors going on.
Rumors?
So I think
you write history on the basis of rumors, and then you get some people... No, 1 second. Sorry, please. He's lifting something in his hand there. No, what's it? Chandra Bose is showing something there. Chandra Bose is showing something. What are you showing?
No, you just go on interrupting me. This is not fair.
No, I'm not interrupting you. He's showing something and he wants to...
Mr. Goswami, this is not fair.
He's showing... What are you showing, Chandra Bose?
You're not even letting me complete.
What are you showing, Chandra Bose? What do you have in your hand there? No, but 1 second.
This is not
Chandra
fair.
Bose, what are you showing? What are you showing, Chandra Bose? What's that piece of paper you were waving?
Yes. Today, the second issue, the second critical document which has surfaced is a CID Howrah's letter which states American and British intelligence, they had disclosed, they feared Subhash Chandra Bose is very much alive and is in China or the Soviet Union, and he is under training there. Now, I would like to ask our friends in the Congress party, how could you use a government machinery in independent India for snooping on a revolutionary like Subhash Chandra Bose's family? Mr. Nehru was under a fear psychosis that
Because of there has
that
been...
Subhas Chandra Bose would return to India.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bose, that is
but
your
I would
theory,
like to state,
but not
how could you
necessarily everybody
misuse
has
the
to
government
abide by
machinery?
that. I mean, I would any sensible in... I'm sorry, but any sensible government under such conflicting rumors would the first thing is to keep a watch on the family.
I'm sorry, Anuj Dhar.
Why should not justified? How can you keep an eye on people? Let me give you some data.
One minute. Sharmistha.
And if he's alive, why is he not making a presence?
What?
No, but why should it all secrecy? Arnab, I want to draw your attention to one piece of information. Now, the CIA, I'm sorry to give you a horrendous example, but then this is how it is. Chandra Bose just talked about that 14 people were snooping on his father. You know, the height of the anti-Bin Laden operation, the CIA had a unit chasing Osama Bin Laden. They had 40 to 50 people, that's all. And can you believe in 1950s and 40s, 50s and 60s, they were having 14 people chasing Ominat Bose. Just imagine, they were having so many people, and in fact, I think the number of people chasing Subash Bose must have been 200. I mean, from where are they getting all the resources? Wastage of public money, misuse of intelligence organization.
I would like to
and what kind of
GVL Narasimha Rao. The BJP opening the debate now.
In April, when this thing came out, you said this is a BJP plant. No, not tell me where's the plant. The West Bengal Chief Minister has stated there was a snooping involved.
No, of course. But it worries me. GVL Narasimha Rao joins the debate. By the way, I'd like to remind the Congress spokesperson that the Indira Gandhi government in the year 1972 proceeded to destroy copies of files at the Khosla Commission of Inquiry looking into Bose's death was ongoing. Correct. An inquiry is ongoing and Indira Gandhi destroyed all the files.
That's just an allegation. And
it's not an allegation, it's an absolute fact. It's not an allegation, it's an absolute fact. You don't know your facts.
The central government must declassify all the files. And we'll
get to that. We'll get to that. GVL Narasimha Rao.
People at
GVL Narasimha Rao.
As claimed by these people.
GVL Rao, please.
Shouting is of no use now.
Japanese ambassador to know about it.
You see, Sharmistha,
there is contradiction in this statement. There is massive
contradiction in what you were saying. Just please recall your statements.
1 second, please. 1 second. GVL Narasimha Rao.
You see, it's the culture. This is the culture of the Congress party to have snooped on their political rivals, on their also political colleagues. I think let her. I'm saying something significant. Let the Congress representative listen to this. I think that it's the culture of the Congress party to snoop on its own colleagues and its rivals, political rivals. And no one should know this better than Ms. Sharmistha Mukherjee. Her own father was snooped upon when he was the finance minister of the country. And certainly, I think this is no secret. The whole country knows about this. This is the culture of the Congress party, and this is the culture of the Gandhi-Nehru family. No. It's there all over. The whole country knows.
I'm really sorry.
And I'm sure your father also was on record
accepting this. This is really stooping down to personal levels, and I don't expect this kind of debate to go on at times now at Mr. Arnab Goswami.
No, it's a reality. Your own father was snooped upon by the Congress party when he was the finance minister in his own government.
Reality
it's a historical
perceived.
fact.
Are you denying it on record? Let me remind you, sir, I am here as the spokesperson of the Congress, not as my father's daughter. So kindly recognize that.
No, but I'm talking about the Congress party's culture. Its own ministers were snooped upon.
I'm sorry.
Political rivals were snooped upon. And this country will not be shocked by learning that Netaji was also being, his family was being snooped upon.
I absolutely refuse to entertain any such comment.
Okay, now Sharmistha, if you finish, please. Can you 1 second, please? The point here is this. Sharmistha, take a deep breath and understand what we are talking about. You see, this country has changed, Sharmistha. What you have done and what Mridula Mukherjee tonight must also explain why it happened is the subversion of history. The entire generation after generation of Indians, went to schools, went to college, learning a form of history which appears to have been written by people on whom historical facts were planted. Untruths were represented as facts. Some people were played up the contribution of... Why are you answering for Mridula Mukherjee? Why are you answering for Mridula Mukherjee? She can answer tonight. I need to know.
I thought you were asking me.
No, I'm not. I'm asking Mridula Mukherjee. I'm not Sharmistha. Now understand this, please. Now, please, one second.
Okay.
You see, instead of fighting over the legacy... Just a piece of advice for the Congress party. Instead of fighting for the legacy of Indira Gandhi and whether or not her face should be on a stamp, why not fight for the legacy of Subhash Chandra Bose and the truth surrounding his death? By not fighting for the truth surrounding his death, you're effectively saying that whether Indira or Rajiv's face is on a stamp is more important than knowing what happened to Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. So you know what? We are going to open the files tonight. We're going to open the those closed cupboards, and the truth is going to come out. And those people who've hidden the truth should be very, very afraid of what they've done so far. Mridula Mukherjee, isn't this completely embarrassing? These files are an embarrassment. There are serious questions which emerge about the suppression of the truth. Why do you feel the Congress party is so on the defensive tonight? Should they just come and admit that they were up to no good as far as Netaji was concerned? And not just that, they lived with a scare that Netaji would come back on the one side, and on the other side did everything possible to kill his legacy. Mridula Mukherjee, please.
Thank you. I would first like to say that I'm feeling very out of place here because this is not the way historians write history. We haven't seen any documents. The files have been opened this morning. It usually takes months and years to evaluate documents. But I want to first start with this book. This is a book written by Subhash Bose's grandnephew,
whose father was in Congress party.
Sogoto Bose.
Whose father was in the Congress party.
And
his father was in Congress party. His mother was in Congress party. Madam, please don't stop being a proxy for Congress party. Madam, please stop being a proxy for Congress party. We don't want to listen to Congress propaganda today. This gentleman's father was in Congress party. His mother was in Congress party. What are you trying to show this today? Let's talk facts.
Mridula Mukherjee, let's restrict ourselves to the fact today. Let's understand Mridula Mukherjee as a historian. Sharmistha, 1 minute. Sharmistha, Chandra Bose is also coming back into the debate. By the way, Mridula Mukherjee, let's be very rational today. Understand what kind of history have we been fed. I'm saying today we've been fed the wrong facts. We've been fed the wrong history. You should remember that in March 2007, this same Congress, Nehru-Gandhi family-inspired Manmohan Singh government said it has no information at all in any of its records about the contribution at all of a person called Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose in India's freedom struggle. This is the level to which they were vindictive against Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. You say you have no information at all that there was a person called... Please, Sharmistha, let the truth be spoken today. You know about the right to information.
What about all the files?
What do you
listen, instead of asking question, you just give answers what you are thinking.
Well, you can
every Independence Day.
Sharmistha Mukherjee, Mridula Mukherjee wants to say something now. Mridula Mukherjee, please, if you may allow her. I'm coming to you, Ardhendu. Ardhendu Bose, I'm coming to you, Ardhendu Bose. 1 second. Mridula, yes, please. Mridula Mukherjee, please. Yeah.
You haven't allowed me to speak at all.
Please continue. Please continue. Complete your point. Anuj contradicted you. He rubbished your theory about the Sogoto Bose book. Please continue.
I want to make 2 or 3 broad points. One, I think that my position is that records should have been opened long ago. All the records pertaining to Netaji and others should have been opened long ago. I was part of the team that worked to put the 20-year rule in the Right to Information Act, which overrides the Official Secrets Act. So my position is absolutely clear. These files should have been declassified long ago.
Now let's talk about the present. Let's talk about the present.
We want the truth to come out.
Well, the truth is coming out, and the truth is embarrassing. The truth is that the Bose family was treated like, people who would be a threat to the security establishment of the country. Chandra Bose is coming back, but before that, I'd like to go to Ardhendu Bose, please. Ardhendu Bose from Pune. Ardhendu Bose from Pune, please. Ardhendu Bose, contradicting you. Go ahead, Ardhendu Bose.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Arnab. from what Ms. Sharmistha Mukherjee is saying about the typical politicians' statements, and we have to study the files. It's very typical. And Ms. Mridula Mukherjee, the last time I was in on your program, she also insisted on the fact, on Sugata Bose, who's my nephew, having written a book that Subhash Chandra Bose perished in an air crash. Okay, at that point of time, I remember I said at that time, at that point of time when he wrote the book, he probably thought so. But evidence is coming out that there was no air crash at all.
Yeah.
And the Mukherjee Commission, excuse me, let me finish what I'm saying. The Mukherjee Commission confirmed that there was no, and the Taiwan government, today's documents which are declassified, has said the Taiwan government has said there was no air crash on the 18th August 1945. So where are we going as far as the air crash is concerned? Nowhere. It's a confirmed fact that there was no air crash. Secondly, over the last few months, I've been hearing the Congress party keep saying, declassify the files in Delhi. Declassify the files in Delhi. That is their argument and that is their support. Declassify all. Now, that raises suspicion in our mind, in my mind especially. How many files exist? Right. And how many files have been destroyed? Therefore, I think the more important thing for the Indian government to do is request the Russian government and the British government to declassify the files that are with them. The KGB files and the MI5 files, the MI6 files. Maybe we'll get more information. Now, I really have my doubts whether the files lying in Delhi are complete or incomplete.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, but a promise has been made at Ardhendu Bose to declassify the files. I think there's an easier way to go about it, if I may. Anuj, you know, since both the UPA and the NDA, I'm tired of this carom board checkers game going on. But you declassify the files, oh, why didn't you? Oh, we are all men and women of good intent, but we've just managed to cover up the truth about Netaji successfully for about 70 years. Now, if both the UPA and the NDA, Chandra Bose, believe that the release of classified files related to Netaji's death will affect India's relations with foreign countries, I have a simple option. Bring back his ashes, if they are his ashes at all, which many people have doubts over, from the Renkoji temple, carry out a DNA test to conclusively establish whether or not these are indeed his ashes and whether he died in 1945. Because this way, Anuj and Chandra Bose, this way you completely bypass the release of classified information that could harm your relations with foreign countries in any way. Who agrees and disagrees with me? Okay, Mridula Mukherjee. Yes, please. Mridula Mukherjee. You agree with me?
I support you. I support you.
Fine. Okay, Ardhendu Bose?
I want that to happen.
Ardhendu Bose?
I don't think any DNA test can be conducted on the remains or on the ashes. That's what I've been told by people involved in DNA testing. That no DNA test can be done on the ashes that are now at the Renkoji temple. It's a futile exercise.
Okay, you may be correct. Anuj?
Sir, what happened that Justice Mukherjee actually did ponder over this question, and he consulted DNA experts in America, in UK, Japan, India. All of them gave similar answers, you know, that taking a look at the charred remains in Renkoji temple, because Justice Mukherjee had this particular box open and had it photographed also. They said, no, the DNA doesn't seem possible. But Mr. Terry Middleton, the American expert, he said, look, we have a huge part of, like a chunk of jawbone and skull. He said, there's a possibility I can still try mitochondrial DNA testing. It may not be possible, but I will try and do it my best. First, you have an anthropological test done on these remains. The anthropological test would tell you whether or not these remains are of a man or woman or Indian or not. I think anthropological test would suffice. You don't need DNA test. But at that point of time, the government of India, the government of the BJP in those days, developed cold feet.
So suppose we conclude. Okay, so Anuj, what we are concluding is that the DNA test may not be a conclusive test. You may not be able to do it at all. Then there is a second simple solution. Second and simple solution. Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, you have an absolute national obligation with a capital O to release the files. Mr. Rao, release the files. Just release the files. Netaji is not another citizen. He's a national icon, and people need to know the circumstances surrounding his death. Release the files. Nobody's going to stop you. Why don't you release the files? Just release the files. Release them, Mr. Release them on Monday, sir.
The ball had been set in motion. There was a committee which is already looking into it.
Sir, you're speaking like the Congress party now.
Come on. No. I think, Arnab, this is for the first time, you have a Prime Minister who has taken extreme interest in ensuring that we do justice to the history of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. And he had met already 3 times family members of Netaji Bose. And he has agreed to meet them. He's planning to, they possibly are going to meet him again in the next couple of weeks.
But you've been beaten by the Trinamool Congress. Sir, you've been beaten by the Trinamool Congress on delivering your electoral promise. You made the promise, the Trinamool Congress beats you. The ball is in your court, sir, because with Mamta Banerjee releasing the files, the pressure is on you to follow suit.
No, we are not under pressure. We certainly think we owe it to the people of the country.
So what are you waiting for?
It's simply a history that had been not been properly presented.
No, sir. Let's place
the files which they have pertain only to the spying or to the snooping on the family members.
Okay,
that has no international ramifications. The files that are in the possession of the central government have to be examined from all respects.
No.
And certainly
that's
the
a bogey.
Is nearing completion.
That's a bogey. I'm sorry, sir, that's a bogey. Sorry, I'll be very direct with you, Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao. That's a bogey, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, sir. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Mr. Rao, hear me. Mr. Rao, hear me. Mr. Rao, just hear me for a minute.
The process is in motion.
You have told...
We don't need a certificate from you.
Sir,
we are sincere.
Sir, 1 minute. You don't need a certificate from me, but you need to answer a question.
In motion.
Mr. Rao,
you can make your comments, but it doesn't affect us.
Mr. Rao, please, I'm not making any comments. You know, I am an aware citizen of India, and like all aware citizens of India, I will make one observation. Please hear me. 12 hours have passed since the Netaji files were released. Viewers, has Russia called for a boycott of India? No. Is Germany not an ally of India or a friend of India anymore? Is Britain calling for a war on India? No. So I'm saying my facts are why government after government is citing international relations as the reason for not declassifying the files. These international relations bogey has been proven to be a bogey. There is no foreign government which is interested right now in this issue.
You do not understand the things in perspective, so you can make such comments.
Which perspective,
the files in Calcutta, they belong only to the local supervision, local spying on the family. It does not relate to international relations. It does not relate to any information that has been obtained from outside the country.
Why do you promise to release the files?
Why promise when you can't deliver?
Anuj Dhar is asking, why promise now?
Why promise when you can't deliver?
You promise. Now you say we can't deliver.
This is under review. And this is under review. And the Prime Minister is very serious about it. So eventually you have to wait for the final decision. But this government is committed to ensuring release of all information that can be released. That there is a committee that is examining it.
Sir,
and you have to wait
what
for
is the worst which will happen? One second. What is the worst which will happen for the Congress party or for the political establishment? It will be proven. Worst case scenario. And I'm just saying this aloud, not speculating, Chandra Bose. Worst case scenario will be that the papers will prove that Netaji was alive.
Then that he
wanted to come back, as some theories say. As some theories say, he was eliminated.
After 45, and I'm afraid Congress party's goose is cooked.
No. So if the Congress party...
If it is proven he was alive after 1945.
No, if it is proven he was alive after 1945 and the Congress party's goose is going to be cooked, then why is the BJP nervous about it? Why doesn't the BJP release it? It should be more reason for the BJP to do so. My question is, if the Congress party's goose is going to be cooked, if it is proven that Netaji was alive after 1945, then I can understand if the Congress government...
That had been the finding of the Mukherjee Commission, which was set up by the previous India government.
Sir,
so there is nothing that needs to be...
Mr. Rao...
That fact is already established.
Why, Mr. Rao? Release it. Release the files.
Earlier commissions also. And closer to the date.
No. Other commissions they worked under your governments, under Congress governments, and nobody has trust in the findings of those two commissions.
Yes. I mean, So
come on, people know.
I mean, now it has become a sin in this country to be a Congress person. So you want to go for a Stalinist purge?
entire gamut
And
of
that is
issues.
the way for
Those
the
were
Congress
simply
Mukh
not
Bharat.
the right
No, I'm saying
investigation.
what can be released. See, listen. Worst comes to worst, and I'll be very direct about it. Please understand. You see, Chandra Bose, in our country, we build these icons. We build political leaders and icons, and Mridula Mukherjee will agree with me that the historical writing in this country is being done in such a way, conveniently by historians, that Nehru should be on top, and everybody should be some diminutive little personality around him. Now, this historical, those people who've written this kind of contorted
We haven't
history.
done that kind of
No, you
writing,
haven't,
so
but
I
some
don't
people
take
have,
your
ma'am. I'm not saying you.
I'm
Some
sorry,
people have.
Arnab. No,
Some people have written that form of history.
This is not right. Arnab,
Why are you
what
jumping when
are
I'm talking
saying
about
is
Nehru?
not Right. No, I
Nehru,
grew up in a
no, 1 second.
Congress
I am
family.
saying
No,
put
let
Nehru
me-
in his
no,
rightful
let me
place.
let me-
No, is
let
it
me-
insulting to say
let
put Nehru in his
me-
rightful
I
place?
grew up in a
Nehru is not a
hardcore-
deity. Nehru is the first Prime Minister of India.
No, I grew up with stories of Bhagat Singh, of Rajguru, of Vinay Badal Dinesh, including V.D. Savarkar, and I belong to a hardcore Congress family. It is absolutely
I'm not asking
wrong
about
to
your
say
personal
that
experience.
Congress didn't give importance
I'm
to
not.
any other
What I'm saying
freedom
is,
fighter. This is
ma'am, please
absolutely wrong.
listen to me. The question is about Nehru. Okay, don't be too touchy about Nehru. I'm going to question Nehru. The question is on Nehru. There is a person, ma'am,
you
please.
read the basic NCERT history books.
Mr. Mukherjee, you don't even need NCERT history to be slightly aware. If you were slightly aware, you would realize that what we are talking about is that the Nehru government, your political numero uno ideologue, the person who cannot be questioned in your view, the person who was put on par with Mahatma Gandhi, which he was not. The person who was put on par, whose elevation in our history books, and allow me to complete. You have no business. You have no business. You have absolutely no business, and I will tell you this. You eliminated Bhagat Singh from the writing of Indian history.
Because if national icons are deliberately...
Listen, I don't believe in icon worship. You may.
Go and file an affidavit in the case.
You may believe in icon worship. I don't.
I mean, what
Why are you jumping about this? I'm saying,
these are the kind of baseless allegations I absolutely strongly object to.
I belong to an aware and thinking generation of Indians who refuse to believe that Netaji was any less than any of the greatest giants of Indian political history. I refuse to believe. I belong to a generation of Indians which will not accept the rubbish that the only national leader worth writing about was Nehru. So the question is this. Okay, anyway, I go back to the point.
Yours is not only the enlightened generation.
Chandra Bose.
Sorry.
Chandra
Yours
Bose.
is not the only enlightened generation.
Chandra Bose.
You know, the generation I belong to is also enlightened generation.
Okay, you are entitled. Fine.
The generation
No. May I, Chandra Bose? Chandra Bose.
Question of distortion of history. Concerted efforts have been made by subsequent governments
what is exactly
to distort
happening now?
history. A book was raised by Professor Mridula Mukherjee, His Majesty's opponent. It is nothing but a total, complete distortion of facts by a paid historian. He may be a member of the Bose family, but he has betrayed Subhash Chandra Bose and the nation. We, as family members, have the moral duty to expose a traitor like Sugata Bose. That book is a complete distortion of the entire freedom movement and Subhash Bose's contribution. Such paid historians must be exposed. There are many such historians in India and abroad. Now let us rewrite tonight.
Chandra Bose is speaking up and let him do so.
It's shameful. It's shameful.
Of course it is shameful what you were talking about. In April, you were saying is all rubbish. It is indeed shameful. I give you example of what is shameful, madam. Listen to me. In 2006, when Mukherjee Commission report was not made public, but the government of India knew that there was no plane crash and Netaji had not died and the ashes are not of Subash Bose, this Sugata Bose flew to Japan on a secret mission as if he were James Bond. He got certain ashes from that country. He brought them to India secretly and he wanted to pass off those ashes as of Subash Chandra Bose. I mean, he was acting like a secret agent.
He's a book.
Ask him. I'm quoting his own book. Chandra Bose would vouch for me. Ask Chandra Bose, his cousin, first cousin.
Anybody who speaks against your theory is an agent.
I think it's
anybody
that you are
speaks against your theory.
Obviously, it is a matter of fact. Ask him why did Sugata Bose undertook that secret visit to Japan in 2006? Why did he go and meet up with people who had looted the inner treasure?
Banerjee is member of parliament.
So what?
So what? There are members of parliament. There are many.
I'm not talking about Mamta Didi. Mamta Didi has done a wonderful job today.
Distorted history. That is the truth of the matter.
and present it to the people of India.
Madam, please accept the fact.
Also professional
You may
historian.
have family differences.
What professional historian? You never asked for declassification. Show me a single historian ever asking for declassification of Subhash Chandra Bose file. It is only people like us who have been demanding declassification for all these years. Not a single historian ever supported declassification demand. Not a single of them. It is only people like us who were asking for declassification.
Okay, Anuj Dhar, I accept that you are the only person in Indian history who has ever demanded declassification. You are the only one who knows anything about Subhash.
No, but it's a fact. No, one second.
That is a fact.
It is an absolute fact. No, it is a fact. No, the point he makes. No, one second. No, Mridula Mukherjee, last time that you faced Anuj Dhar on a program, you were patronizing to him. You said he knows he's not a trained historian, that you are a trained historian. I remember the sparring between both of you. Now, if a person who does not hold a PhD in history is doing better work than all the historians over the decades in this particular case, then please give the person credit, Mridula Mukherjee. Don't ascribe motive to him. Because I know what do you mean. What do you mean? So go on. The fact is, Mridula Mukherjee. Now let me ask you, Mridula Mukherjee. Mridula Mukherjee, let me ask you. What's a Sharmistha?
He is the one who's rubbishing everybody.
No, he's saying some facts.
He's rubbishing everybody.
Why?
He thinks he's the last
With
one.
facts.
And he's not.
I'm an expert. You are not. I'm an expert. You are not on Netaji's death issue. What is your qualification of Netaji death mystery? If you knew something, why did not depose before Mukherjee Commission? I did.
I can't hear anything.
No, maybe the whole case is wonderfully poised today. I go back to the BJP. Let's extend the debate by 3 or 4 minutes. The Prime Minister's office, as of this minute, GVL Narasimha Rao, has in its possession 20 to 40 files that are very critical to establishing the truth. You have selectively declassified files that indicate that the Nehru government spied on Bose, but you are silent on whether or not he died in the plane crash in 1945. If he did not die in the plane crash in 1945, and if these papers prove that we knew all along that Netaji never died in 1945, then GVL Narasimha Rao, do you know the impact on history? I can tell you 80%, the credibility of 80% of Indian historians will be wiped out forever. Anuj Dhar's question will begin to resonate loud in their ears, that why did we never ask for a declassification of the files? And we will have to be forced to believe that historians in India have not been historians but writers of the gazetteers of India, writing whatever their political masters instruct them to.
I think this is ridiculous. I think what you are doing is ridiculous. You are talking without any facts.
Absolutely.
Historians have been shouting from the housetop for the declassification of files.
Where? Show me a single piece of article.
Comment.
Now
you are doubting the integrity of professional historians.
One second, Sharmistha Mukherjee, 2 emails were sent. Listen, Sharmistha, I talk on the basis of fact. 2 emails were sent by the Taipei mayor and the Minister of Transportation and Communication to Anuj Dhar, a journalist, stating there was no air crash in that period. Am I right or wrong, Anuj?
Yes.
Am I right or wrong, Anuj? Okay, one second.
It's a matter of record.
Second, point number 2. Don't keep, Sharmistha is shouting but not listening. In a reply dated 28th of January 2014 under a FOAI application.
At that time, nobody is going to keep record of what has happened. Rather the defeated parties, parties, they would...
Sharmistha, remember this.
No, just let me answer. Let me answer.
Sharmistha, documents available by the US, Taiwan, Russia and Germany. Please, Sharmistha, understand one thing. If the whole world...
just think about the situation of the context of the time.
A man did not die in 45. You told us he died all this while. And your first Prime Minister, the great Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, was constantly spying on him. You want us not to ask questions about that?
That is your point of view. That is your point of view, just not because what you say has to be accepted by the whole world. And let the files be declassified. We are saying let the files be declassified.
Okay, so the worst case scenario, worst case. Listen, Sharmistha Mukherjee, the worst case. Hello, the worst case.
Bits and pieces.
Miss Mukherjee, the worst case scenario is that the entire credibility of a person called Jawaharlal Nehru will be torn into shreds. So be it. If the credibility of Jawaharlal Nehru is to be torn to shreds, so be it.
I absolutely refuse to get into this kind of...
Congress party's views will be cooked.
I absolutely refuse to get into this kind of...
So be it. And if it is not to be torn into shreds, so be it.
I am absolutely confident that nothing of
But
that sort
Arnab,
is going to happen.
Whatever,
That
so
this
be it. What did I say? So be it.
Of our national icon has to stop. Which is being done by Mr. Dhar and this Netaji Mission people, it has to stop. So we demand the declassification of the full,
Ms. Bose,
the full
people are writing
files.
about this. GVL Narasimha Rao, just release the files on Monday, please. Please do it Monday, Tuesday, release the files.
Arnab,
End the debate. End the debate once and for all.
The Congress party, no, let me say what I have to say. Congress party behaved like a slave of one family. They cannot look beyond 3-4 individuals of that family. And unfortunately, a number of historians are also associated with the Congress party. Ms. Mridula Mukherjee on your panel, she was head of the Nehru Library. She was also official historian for the Congress party. So how do you expect them to really look beyond? How do you expect?
No, she's countering you. She's countering you.
No,
she's countering you.
No, this is countering you. No, she is the official historian.
Why didn't you
historian for the Congress party.
I mean, you are trying to
and the Nehru family.
To Congress
you cannot expect historians to be independent.
Mridula Mukherjee is countering you.
As tools to distort the history.
Mridula Mukherjee, then Ardhendu Bose. Ardhendu Bose and Mridula Mukherjee, please. 1 second, Sharmistha, please. Take a break.
You know, you are denigrating everybody.
No, this is the report. Can you just focus on this?
Again, just
this is Times of India report.
I refuse to.
No, this is Times of India report. No, this is Times of India report.
Mridula Mukherjee on the other side, please.
Times of India report says while you were head of the Nehru Library, you became official historian for the Congress party. I'm not saying this. This is not my own imagination. Just this is the report. Just look at the headline. Times of India, 2010. You were selected as you flouted rules, becoming official historian for the Congress party.
No.
So what? This is Times of India. Are you questioning this? Are you questioning media?
Maybe it's a wrong statement. It's a wrong statement.
You see, I'm reading this report. Historian Mridula Mukherjee is a member of the editorial board that brought out the official history of the Congress party, although she is the director of Nehru Memorial Museum and Library. You have become, you're a historian for the Gandhi Nehru family. So you cannot look at any other stalwart of the Congress party or even otherwise beyond simply speaking up for Nehru, Indira.
I was not an official historian. I was member of a committee that advised. It was not an official history of the Congress party that I wrote.
Anyway,
so you were an editorial member of the Congress party.
Anyway, the discussion is not on Mridula Mukherjee. It's on Ardhendu Bose, please. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, Ardhendu Bose.
I was not, I've never been an official historian of the Congress party.
Ardhendu Bose, please.
I think this
the
is
way
just lies and lies and lies. First you call Shogata Bose.
You've had your say, Ms. Mukherjee.
Shogata Bose a traitor.
No, he's not called him a traitor. 1A. He's not used the word traitor.
I have not made that statement.
No, he's not. By the way, those are his individual views. He's made observations on Shogata Bose. I don't think it's illegal to have views on other people. Mr. Shogata Bose is free to give his point of view. These are the observations of members of the Bose family. These are not my views, and I personally am making that clear. Ardhendu Bose, please. Ardhendu Bose wants to say something.
Seeing the way that the Congress representative on your panel now is insisting on the files in Delhi being declassified, now I really have my doubts how many files have been destroyed. So therefore, how much confidence there will be in the files that are coming out in India, I don't know. So we have to rely on the files lying in
Russia. Jumping into the judgment, and if it just doesn't fall into that judgment, that slot of point of view, that means the files have been declassified.
Spied on the Bose family, which is shameful, right? But even more shameful, it has been disclosed now that the Nehru government spied on the INA soldiers all over India. Those are the guys who gave their lives for this country.
Is absolutely
and it's the most shameful thing in the world that they were spied on, right? So as you're saying now, Arnab, history will be rewritten, and Ms. Mridula Mukherjee will have to go back to JNU and revised all that she's been teaching about the Indian freedom movement and the INA and Subash Bose.
Yeah, that's one point. That's one point. Yeah.
Please do read what I've written about the INA. You don't know what I've written about the INA. Please do read. Please take the trouble to read.
I know a lot about
Don't
the
call me
INA.
names
I
without
belong to
knowing
the
anything.
family.
Chandra Bose wants to say something to
I
you.
don't know anything.
So does Shugata Bose. Belonging to the family doesn't
Honesty and integrity.
Yes, go ahead, Chandra Bose.
The honesty and integrity of a historian is more important than the double PhDs he has obtained from Harvard. You see, the 50 members of the Bose family feel that Shugata Bose has distorted history, has insulted the Bose family, Subhash Chandra Bose. So this is not my view. This is the majority view of the Bose family. Kindly check it out yourself. Now, leave Shugata Bose aside. He is insignificant in the entire movement. Now let us talk about reality. Let us unravel the mystery of Subhash Chandra Bose's disappearance. Let the NDA government come up with a statement immediately that they are absolutely positive that they would declassify the files. But like I said before, these 150 files may not able to unravel the mystery. We need to have a holistic approach. We need to see the Russian archives. We need the KGB files. We need the files in China and Great Britain, the MI5, MI6 files. We have already filed an RTI application with Great Britain.
Been done so
if
far?
Narendra Modi ji takes up with the foreign nations, I think at this juncture, we might finally be able to unravel India's biggest cover-up for the last 70 years on a liberator of India who was responsible for the final onslaught on the British imperialist forces.
Well, before I close tonight, it's just one small
there
point.
There are millions of other Indians also who are responsible for the freedom of India.
Yeah, small point, Sharmistha Bose. You see, I think the future generations of India will look at what's happening now and say what a wonderful moment this was. Because we can turn this moment into that inflection point when the entire history of this country is rewritten. If, and I'm repeating, if it is proven that the theory we were fed on Netaji...
You're just jumping into conclusions and...
Yes, and it's a democracy. And it's a democracy, Sharmistha. I can jump to whatever conclusions I want.
You are absolutely jumping into the
and you can jump into yours, let the people decide.
Without even reading the full text.
I can assure you, Miss Sharmistha Bose, I have read of the papers which are made available.
Let it be. And if the...
What do you mean let it be? I won't let it be.
If the Arnab Goswami, if the history be rewritten, let it be rewritten.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Let it be. History will always
then welcome it.
There will be people
then welcome it.
Can I have one little say, please?
All right.
Can I have one little say?
Yes, Ardhendu Bose.
Ardhendu Bose. We welcome it. We want the declassification.
You don't seem to be. You don't exactly seem to be.
Can I just have one little say, please?
Ardhendu Bose, please.
Before that happens, and before, as you say, the history is going to be rewritten. Stop this maligning of our national icons.
Who's maligning whom?
First, let every document come out. Let professional historians. Let professional historians and scholars, not just this kind of quick fix debates. These are not the right.
Sharmistha, do I?
These are not the right platform.
Sharmistha, one second. May I?
Document.
Miss Mukherjee, am I right in sensing?
Let your channel.
Am I right in sensing a slight wee bit of panic in the way you're reacting?
Let your channel sponsor an international
Arnab, you're so right. Arnab, you are so right. They're getting nervous now. They're getting jittery.
And scholars.
I'll say this once
nervous
again.
And jittery.
This is a great moment. Ardhendu Bose will wrap up tonight. Ardhendu Bose will wrap up tonight. But before this,
whatever you want.
Miss Mukherjee, before this, just one sentence, with your permission, if I may be allowed to say.
We want declassification of every file.
Again, Miss Bose.
If that is being nervous, yes.
You're simply calling BJP's bluff.
Declassification
you are the ones who created these secret files in the first place. You have no moral right to even ask for these files like this.
We are on the verge of the rewriting of Indian history if this happens. This is not just about Netaji. This is about understanding of Indian history. And I feel the position of a few icons may come crumbling down. Ardhendu Bose, last word on the debate tonight. before I close. Ardhendu Bose, last word to you, please. Ardhendu Bose, please.
Now BJP is saying the same thing, and it becomes a holy...
I'd like to say one thing, that apart from spying on the soldiers of the Indian National Army all over India, after they repatriated back to India, at that point of time, Nehru realized that a lot of the Southeast Asian countries, there were dictatorships and there were army rule. So therefore, and as a result of that, he even demeaned the Indian armed forces. And the Indian armed forces, and believe you me, asked them how they felt and how they were demeaned. They were really brought down.
GVL Narasimha Rao wanted to make a point. Mr. Rao, set a deadline, set the files free.
Yeah, there is clearly a panic in the Congress camp, and their demand for immediate declassification is as hypocritical as Robert Vadra wanting to end his super VVIP status. I think all the sins were committed by their regimes, one after the other, and they sound so hypocritical today. Our government is committed to examining this.
Whatever you may say, Mr. Rao, if I may again, with one last sentence I'll close. It's slightly inappropriate to mention Netaji and Robert Vadra in the same breath. I thank you all very much. I know you didn't. It's on a lighter note. On a lighter note, Mr. Rao. That's on a lighter note. Let's not mention Vadra and Netaji in the same sentence. That's on a lighter note. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.